This episode of the Good Living Now podcast is sponsored by our friends at Kuvings. Now, I've had almost every brand of juicer on the market since I started my healing journey in 2015. But the Kuvings Auto 10 has been a complete game changer. It's easy to use and easy to clean. Plus, I'm able to make smoothies as well as sorbets and plant-based milk. So use my code JUICEGUY and save 10%. All right, you know what to do. Get your juice on. Welcome to the Good Living Now podcast, where we talk to real people about real change leading to real health. I am your host, Harold Leffall, and today we're talking about weight loss, and we're going to be talking to a vegan. And I know a lot of times people who are not vegan think that once you become vegan, you automatically lose weight. Well, that's not the truth. And my guest is going to talk about that. He's a vegan chef that recently lost 100 pounds. That's right, 100 pounds. Welcome to the show, Abdul, also known as the Vegan King. What's happening, Abdul? How you doing,
How
man?
you doing, man? Man, it's a pleasure. I'm good, feeling good, looking good, and
You
it's
look
a
great,
pleasure.
man. You look absolutely great. Look, I got to tell you, so I've been following you for probably about 4 years on Instagram. Your vegan recipes are like next level. I've seen you make vegan oxtails, vegan ribs. And you know what happened was, you know how the algorithms be algorithming. And so there
hmm
was a period where I didn't see your videos. And so about a
Yes.
month ago, I went searching for you and I was like, wait a minute, he looks different. Something happened. And man, so you've lost 100 pounds.
Actually, I think it was like 135 to 40 pounds. Yeah, yeah,
Whoa. Well,
yeah.
you know what? Let's go back. Let's go back. So you've been vegan for how long?
I've been vegan for like 9 years now.
9 years. Now,
Yeah.
what led you on your
Or
vegan
eight
journey?
eight years. So the reason I became vegan is because I had a restaurant years ago, and I got sick because I was feeding the community, the soul food, so you could say, or deaf food. And
Mm.
I got sick. I ended up in the hospital, sugar, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. I'm talking about every single thing that, a person can have. I had it. So while I was in the hospital, I was like, what the hell's gonna happen to my family? Like, I'm the one making sure that everything is good. I have to step it up and be a man and take control of my life. So I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to go vegan. I thought that going vegan would actually help me lose weight, feel better, be better, but it actually did.
Mm. It
hmm
didn't. And see, a lot of
hmm
people think that. A lot of people think, okay, I'm going to go vegan and that's going to
hmm
cure everything. And so
hmm
then what happened? What?
So I became vegan. At the time I had a restaurant. I'm a chef. We were selling cakes as well as food. So it was a very great depression time for me because currently at the time I was cooking real meat, cooking, oxtails and chicken and all the things that, we used to eat. So I had to switch and figure out a way to eat better foods. So I started with the processed foods because I didn't know anything about being vegan. So I was buying the Impossible, the Beyond, and I don't want to name it, but these are the foods that I was eating, thinking that, oh, it's vegan, it's better for me, but it's not because those
Mhm.
foods are highly processed, have so much sodium in order for the
So much
package,
sodium.
right? Because you got to understand, like, in order for them to keep it fresh or, not spoil, they put so many additives and salt and things to preserve it. So what did I do? I started eating it, cooking with it. Oh yeah, this is good. It tastes like meat. It's very nostalgic. It's very like it reminds me of what I used to eat. But then while I was vegan, I think about 3 or 4 years in, I got sick again.
Mm.
So like my body was just not right, and I was gaining so much weight. So I lost 50 pounds when I became vegan, and then I added 80 pounds.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, yeah. So if you and I leave all my videos on my post online so people could actually see. that
Mm.
the transition was crazy. And then I finally figured it out. But it took me years to figure it out because you got to
So,
understand, losing weight and food is one part, but it's so many parts, key parts to losing weight. People think that they know how to lose weight. Oh yeah,
mm,
they're gurus, but they're gurus because they're already small. You have to, the
mm.
perfect person to lose weight is a person that had the weight for so long and actually lose it like I did, to show people what did you do, what was the steps that you took to get where you're at, you know?
Right. So you said initially when you became vegan, you lost 50 pounds, but then
Hmm.
you gained 80. What
Yes.
happened? Why do you
I
think that
was eating, I wasn't eating the correct things, and I thought that
happened?
being vegan was gonna be the best thing to do so that I could lose the weight because it's plants. But that's irrelevant. It was totally the opposite. I might as well just stay eating the oxtails and all the, you know, foods that I was eating before. And like I said, becoming vegan is one part of it. In order for you to lose the weight, you have to think about your health, your life, your lifestyle. I How I did it was I went into a caloric deficit. I
Hmm.
figured out, I kept reading about it, but I didn't understand what it meant. So I went into a caloric deficit, and I'm holistic. I don't take any pharmaceutical meds. So there's a lot of things that I love to take, especially I purchased my black seed oil from you, I remember. I
Hmm.
take a lot of herbs, but that's another part also. And I do a lot of breathing and walking. In order for me to have lost the weight, I had to do over 10,000 steps a day, so that was one of
Mm.
the things. And then I learned that breathing was another part. So I started to breathe better, especially working out, especially taking long walks, breathing, inhaling it back and forth, and allowing your lungs to fill in with the oxygen that it needs so that it could do what it needs to do to, remove the fat. So there was
Mhm.
so many things that I took together, a combination of certain herbs that allowed me to sustain the weight. And I'm gonna be honest, when I lost the weight, I didn't know. So I was just doing all of these things and had no idea that I lost. At the time, I had lost 80 pounds.
Wow. So you just
Hmm.
started making changes, but you didn't
Hmm.
realize that you were losing so much weight. And over
Yes,
what period of time did you lose the 80 pounds?
I'm gonna keep it real with you, and I know it sounds crazy, but within 3, 4 months. And then
Really?
the thing was, yes, the thing was, I stopped eating the processed vegan foods. So I stopped. It took me 2 years to stop eating that stuff. So I don't eat all those fake meats. If
Right.
I'm
Mhm.
making something, I always make it from scratch. But it took me a 2 year span to actually stop doing it. So 2022, I have to say that's when I really stopped eating all the processed stuff. So when I stopped eating all the processed stuff, I stopped eating a lot of carbs like bread, and yes, bread was a main thing because bread is the devil, and I don't mean to say that anyway. It's just that stuff is not good for you because it gives you weight. Soda, bread, pasta, all of these things. So I switched a lot of the things that I was eating and put and added more fiber into my life because the fiber is what helps push everything out of your system.
Mhm.
And taking prebiotics, probiotics, kefirs, drinking soursop teas, sea moss, black seed oil, and those combinations. And I was headstrong on it, and I kept doing it. And I was very consistent. I was just like, I have to get myself right because my body was not feeling right, and I felt sick every single day. I would be like,
Mm.
my libido was down. Um, and then I found out that one of the key things that was actually making me more sick was the fact that when you're vegan, you have to take vitamin D3. So I was able to find one of the best D3s, and I started taking it. I went to the doctor, and the doctor took my blood, and my lab work came back that uh, my vitamin D was zero point 0.4,
Mm.
which is extremely dangerous because that's vitamin D deals with a lot of things, hormones, depression, and stuff like that. So that was one of the things that wasn't allowing my body to lose the weight. Because look, I'm vegan, I eat holistic, everything's fresh. I'm talking about I don't eat anything else, but I eat jackfruit, mushrooms, vegetables in abundance. And this is what I eat every single day. Religiously, I eat 3 meals a day, and it consists of fiber and all the nutrients that my body needs. But for some reason, it wasn't working, and I was getting depressed. So the depression of everything was because I lacked one thing that would have helped me lose the weight, feel better, but I wasn't. Um, Listening to my body until I went and did my labs after I lost all the weight.
And you know what? You said something so important about
Hmm.
vitamin D.
Hmm.
Most African Americans are vitamin D deficient.
Yes.
And vitamin D is such a critical nutrient that we need
Hmm.
because if we are deficient, it impacts our ability to absorb healthy nutrients. So if you're vitamin
Hmm.
D deficient, you can be taking sea moss, black seed oil, and all the things, and it's
Not gonna
still not
work.
be absorbing in your system. So
Hmm.
making sure that your vitamin D levels are in check is really, really important. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
And then juicing too. Lots of juicing. Beets. Greens, kale, dandelion. All of these things I included into my life, and and I'm telling you, like I did not know I lost the weight. So I have a shirt in my closet that I haven't worn since I was 17 years old.
Mhm.
So I go in the closet and I'm like, yo, let me put this on. I put it on, and let me tell you something. When I put the shirt on, it closed. And I was
Mm.
like, what's going on? So then I said, you know what? Let me put on my jeans because I was always wearing sweats and you don't really notice it because your sweats are sweats. So I put on some jeans. The jeans couldn't fit, they were too big. It was
Wow.
just, yeah. And then I said, and then my wife was like, hon, I think you lost a lot of weight. And I said, I did. How did I do it?
You're like, how did
So,
that
yeah,
happen?
I'm like, what did I do? So then
so,
we
so,
figured out,
so,
yeah,
so what were you eating like during that 4 month period? What were like some typical things you were eating during that time, in addition to getting your vitamin D levels in
right.
check? What were you eating anything differently?
Yes, I did. I actually changed it because I wasn't, I changed it and I went holistic. So in the mornings, I would have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for breakfast, I would have a vegan scrambled egg, which was made from pumfu, which is pumpkin seeds. It's a company that make their own tofu, but they use pumpkin seeds and water to create it. So I use that to make eggs. So on my plate, I'll have vegan eggs, spinach, and sometimes I would have potatoes, like a little bit of potatoes, like half a cup of potatoes with chia seeds. So what? Oh, this is another thing that I did that also helped. I put chia seeds in everything,
Mm.
like everything. I put chia seeds in rice. I put chia seeds in my eggs. I put chia seeds in my potato. And the reason I'm doing that is because we found out that when you're eating carbs, the chia seeds, the fiber balances it out and it kind of removes it. So and it helps it stick to the cell better. For a
Mm.
better absorbent rate, right? So
Mhm.
that's one of the things. So chia seeds, and I'm talking about like 2 to 3 tablespoons of chia seeds was going in my eggs, was going
Mm.
in my stuff. So now breakfast was my eggs, my spinach, and my potatoes. Sometimes if I didn't have potatoes, I would have a wheat muffin that I got from Trader Joe's, but I wouldn't eat two. You know how it comes with like the two.
Mhm.
I would just eat one, and I would toast it, and I would eat that like that. And then I would drink my tea, and my tea consists of um, sea moss, bladderwrack, soursop. Um, I have this magnesium thing that I take that
Mhm.
it really helps. Dandelion drops and stinging nettle. So these are all the things that I put in my teas, and I drunk it every single. Oh, and let me show you what I
Mhm.
use because like I said, bread is not good for you. So this is what I've been using. It's made with flax seeds, oat bran, and it's wheat, but
Mhm.
it's very good for you. And this is one of
Mhm.
the things that I was eating, and I still eat till today. And as you can see, it has 2 grams of fiber. It has zero sugar, and I don't eat the whole thing. I eat half of it. So these are the things that I was
Mm.
including. So what my wife would do is, so the breakfast, she would take the breakfast and turn the breakfast into lunch. She would cook a lot of eggs, or I would cook a lot of the eggs, and we would take those wraps, and she would turn them into like burritos, and she would just put like four away. So we'll eat that
Mm.
for lunch. And then for lunch, we would have that, and we would have it with some kale or some tortilla chips or some nuts. I ate a lot of nuts. I'm talking about
Mm.
like walnuts, all the nuts that you could think of. I was eating these things. And then for dinner, I would probably make some stewed chicken with some rice and some salad. In the salad, we would have beets, kale, dandelion, arugula. I love arugula. I can't
Mhm.
stress that enough. And we would make the mushrooms in the air fryer. And if we didn't have mushrooms, we would have Brussels sprouts, or we would have jackfruit or banana blossoms. And I would just keep doing the same thing. And for lunch, because we all want to snack on something later on. So for snacks, I would snack on tangerines. I would snack on um, what's that thing called? I love kombucha. I'm a very big
Mm.
kombucha person. So I would drink a lot of kombucha, but not a lot because you have to remember it does have sugar. You have to be careful. I would have little
Mhm.
snacks like peanut butter and crackers and stuff like that, and just eat
So
regular,
you
just
were
like everybody
eating.
else.
So you were eating. You weren't starving yourself.
No, I wasn't, but it was just about what I was eating and how I was eating it. So I was eating less things like garbage, like, Oreos are vegan, right? Doritos are
Mhm.
vegan, but it shouldn't be in your cabinet because these things are
Right.
not good for you. So
Mhm.
I eliminated all of those things. I mean, like eliminated it. And that's all I did. And I did that consistency for I did it for 2 years. I've been doing this for 2 years, but I noticed that when I lost the weight was when I sat down and just took all my supplements and did everything. And then I started to do the breathing and I started to do the walking. And I was making sure that I'm going to tell you that the breathing and the walking is probably what did it because I wasn't breathing correctly. A lot of us laugh and
Mm.
say, oh, I shouldn't go to yoga. No, actually, these things are good for you. It's like some Muslims, I don't know if you know, but Muslims pray 5 times a day. There's a reason they want you to pray 5 times a day because that's a form of yoga, going up and down, allowing the
Mhm.
body to move. Because remember, if you stay still, that could kill you.
Mm.
So I
Right.
honestly
Yeah.
have to say that, yeah, I did that. And I have a yoga ball, I have an elliptical. So I did a lot of those things. And shout out to my Afro beats. Afro beats, I have to say, Wizkid and Davido, they really helped me lose that weight because
Mhm.
I was working out
He was moving.
consistency
Yeah.
for like a good hour. So I did that every single day, and the weight just fell off because I was breathing, I was eating correctly. I wasn't eating, yes, I am vegan, but I wasn't eating those crazy vegan things. And that's why I was just showing people like this is what we can eat instead of eating this because this is not good for you. And it took
Right.
me years. I've been big all my life, and I didn't realize how big I was. So I actually went back and looked at some of my videos, and I was like, wow, that is so bad. Like I look so disgusting. And I was
Mm.
like, and it's crazy because even though I lost the weight, sometimes it's hard to film. Sometimes it's
Mm.
hard to look in the mirror because for a little glimpse of it, like I'll see myself and I'll say, "Oh man, I gained the weight again," and it's not the case because
Right.
I I dropped from a 54 waist
Mm.
to a 34.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Abdul, you mentioned breathing. Talk to us about breathing. When you say breathing,
hmm
how should people be breathing?
Well, a lot of deep breathing, especially when you're working out. I used to have vertigo because I wasn't breathing correctly, and I realized it
Mm.
because nobody tells you. You go to the gym, you lift weights, you do all these things, but nobody takes time to tell you exactly what to do because they tell you, yeah, breathe in, breathe out, make sure you do this, but they didn't break it down. So one day I just like watched a few YouTube videos and figured out how to breathe correctly,
Mhm.
stuff like that. And I
Mm.
started incorporating that while I was doing my weight training. I did a lot of weight training. I did a lot of calisthenics. I did a lot of resistant bands because the resistant bands really Shout out to the resistant bands because I'm not gonna lie, I did a lot of resistant band training, and that's what kind of like, helped me fall into that, you know, caloric deficit as well as eating right, drinking my teas, taking my supplements, and but I have to say the vitamin D is crucial. A lot of us are we don't have enough vitamin D, and I also take potassium. I am 41. People say, "Oh, you're not 41." I'm
Yeah,
like, "I'm
I thought
40."
you was about 25. I thought you was about my son's age. I was like, when you told me you
Yeah,
were 40, I
yeah.
was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah, I'm 41 years old, and
Mhm.
I watch a lot of things on TV, like on YouTube, on how to eat better, how to live better, and and also forgiveness. So this weight
Mm,
loss was forgiveness, lifestyle, everything matters. A lot of people don't know, but when you have a lot of stress, it creates cortisol in the body, and my issue was I was not losing weight because of the cortisol. So I had to take
mm,
things to eliminate the cortisol, which is things like blueberries,
mm.
teas and stuff like that, because you need to remove the free radicals within the body that the cortisol creates,
Yeah.
and I just figured it out. Hmm.
Wow. So, how soon did you notice a reversal? Because you had high blood pressure. Did you say you had type
Hmm.
2 diabetes?
Yes.
So how long did it take for for those things to reverse?
So the type 2 diabetes, it was man, I never really like spoke about it a lot, but it was a very, very big impact in my life, and that's the reason I pushed to lose the weight because my sugar at my highest was like 700. And
Wow.
yeah, I went into ketosis. It was bad, like body was shutting down, and that's what was happening, and I didn't understand what was going on. Another thing is I don't use sugar. I use only agave, and even if I use agave, I use a little bit. Um, One of my tricks that I also did was a lot of people love to drink soda. So what I do is I drink seltzer water and I put a little lemon in there with some agave, and it starts to taste like Sprite. You just
Mm,
put enough, but not too much. And sometimes I put it, sometimes I don't. But my sugar was so high, and that's
mm,
what prompted me to figure out what to take because they were giving me metformin, it was making me sick. They were giving me all of this stuff, insulin and everything. It was making me sick. So I had to figure out ways and things to do to remove it because what the type of diabetes I had yes, it is genetic, but you can change it and throw it into remission by eating correctly. So what I found out was that I have stress diabetes. And stress
mm,
diabetes comes from um, too much of the cortisol releasing in the body. Because as much as I look like a nice guy, I don't take stress very well. And,
mm.
family, lifestyle, the economy, COVID-19, all of these things I gained a significant amount of weight, and I was just saying to myself, like, how did I gain all of this weight? And I'm vegan. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
vegan, but you're not eating the correct things. When you become vegan, you have to also detoxify your body from all the, dead foods that you were eating, and remove it and clear out your microbiome and make sure that, your body is taking in what it needs. So now all I'm dealing with is loose skin because I lost the weight so much that my body was like, wait a minute, what are you
Mm.
doing? What are you doing? And my high blood pressure was high. But the reason the high blood pressure is high is because if you have diabetes, they're cousins. So if you have high
Mhm.
blood pressure or if you have diabetes, you're gonna have high blood pressure. And then also my cholesterol was bad because I used to eat an abundance of not seafood because I wasn't a big seafood person, but I was eating a lot of eggs and stuff like that. So now I have my labs. I could pull it up right now and show it to you. My doctor told me, he said, Abdul, I don't know what you're doing, but your blood work looks like a 20-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
my body is alkaline. Like he said that everything was alkaline. He said, I don't know what you're taking, what you're doing, but keep doing it. And I said, I'm taking supplements every day. I'm walking, I'm breathing, I'm happier, I feel better. Do my knees hurt? Still, yeah, but I guess it's age, right? Your knees, you
They have to,
know.
your knees have to adjust to your new size.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So it's 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 depressing, because
Mm.
sometimes I look in the mirror and I still see, this, because I was 380 pounds, 340, like that's
Wow.
how big. And then I got to 300, and now, I'm at 220, and
Wow.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, I was huge,
That's
you
yeah,
know.
you lost a whole person. You lost a whole
Yeah,
person. Yeah.
yeah.
So, what advice would you give someone who is where you were a few years ago, struggling with
Mhm.
weight, struggling with high blood pressure, diabetes, type 2 diabetes? What advice would you give them, to start their journey?
Well, I would say, who do you have around you that you love? Because you have to do it not only for yourself, but the people that you love to be on this planet, and take care of them, especially with, me, like I'm a husband, I have, my family. It's very important that I stay here as long as I can. That, when a God calls me, he calls me, but if I could fix it, the best advice I would give somebody is stop listening to people, because
Mm,
people will tell you the wrong things. Sometimes things are different for different people. So stop listening to people and do it for yourself. Why should you do it for yourself? Because it's going to make you happy. The weight that I've lost, I'm able to wear clothes that I've never wore before. There were times that I would wear certain things and I wouldn't like to wear it because I felt like, my little tires in the back was sticking out. My stomach,
right,
my stomach was sticking out, and my performance, sexually, things, I want
yeah,
to, what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was, it was, it was a challenge. So,
It's a
you
chat, yeah.
know, because look, we're all beautiful. We're just wearing this suit. This is a suit, and
Mm,
we have to take care of this suit. So, the best advice I would ever say to somebody is, you can do it. You can
mm,
do it. I know you can. You got to talk to yourself, because at the end of the day, when you're losing weight, you're going to become selfish because it's only about yourself. And it's okay to be selfish, because who's going to do it for you? Nobody's going to help you walk. Nobody's going to help you eat. You have to do it. But it does help if you with somebody that's on the same page as you, because the
mm,
support is definitely needed. I'm not gonna lie, my wife, she was there to support me, she was there to help me because we was on a journey together. And
mm,
without her, would I've been able to do it? Yes, but I think it gave me that push because I want to live. I want to see my family grow. I want to see, I want to see myself, at 80 years old, 90 or 100. So these are the things that I was saying to myself, and I just did it. Because you got to remember, weight gain and all of this fat that we have on our body is not good, and it makes you sick because it gives you depression. It makes you think that you're ugly. It makes you think that you're never going to accomplish anything, because that's what the weight do, is all that cortisone, all that mucus, all the things that's in your body that's holding you down. So just believe in yourself and keep doing it, and just go for a walk, because
mhm,
walking is actually one of the best weight loss things to do. Just go for a 30-minute walk and just talk to yourself. Sometimes a lot of us are afraid to be by ourselves. But the best thing to
mhm,
do is just be by yourself, learn who you are, because
mhm,
remember, mentally, like, we're a creature of habit. So if we include these things, we will be good, So that's the best advice I would say to somebody. If you love yourself, do it for you and do it for your family. Because let me tell you something, when you do it, you're gonna feel the difference. All the
mm,
weight that I lost, I mean, the bad thing about it was that I had to throw away all my clothes, because
mhm,
my clothes was like 50, size 50. I had stuff that was 40, 44, 40. I couldn't hold it. So I donated my clothes, even my sneakers. My feet got
mm.
smaller. I used to wear
Wow.
a size, yeah, I didn't think that that was possible, but I was like a 10 and a half, 11. And
Mm,
now I'm like a 10, I'm a 10. So I'm
mm,
like,
mm,
what's going on? So everything matters, whether you think it does or it doesn't, and everything will shrink. My face, it was a point in my life, I lost so much weight, and I think it's because I lost more fat, and muscle. And I looked at crazy. If you go back to one of my videos, I was wearing a red Adidas suit. You could see I look crazy. You know,
Mm,
I look real crazy because I lost so much weight because I didn't know what was going on. And I was drinking a lot of water, kombucha water, these things implementing, breathing, working out. I actually want to come out with like a video of like how what I used to do, just so people can
mhm.
see the
See,
workouts that I did, you know,
right.
because just have fun, listen to music, you know, and think about how beautiful. Look, you're beautiful whether you're fat or not, you know, and I just want to
Right.
tell people that just because you're big or plus size does not mean you're not beautiful. You're
Right.
beautiful. You know, it's just that you want to be more healthy because over time, you see, the older we get, the harder it is for you to lose the weight.
Mm,
So for me, I lost my weight at 40 years old, you know, so it's
mm,
been actually it's gonna be a year that I've been this size. I have never been small. I have always
mm,
been, the smallest I ever been was probably a size 40, and then it goes back
mm,
up. So I go from a 40, then I'm like 42, then I'm 44, and I'm like, what the hell? So those were the struggles that I had. I was stuck in the 40s until like I kept trying on my clothes, and then I was like, wow, I'm a 34.
mm.
I couldn't believe it.
Man, that is incredible. That is
Hmm.
absolutely incredible. And you don't realize how bad you feel until you feel better. You know,
Yes,
you don't realize how bad you feel until you feel better. And so I
yes,
know that this has been an incredibly lifting, enlightening experience for you in so
yes,
many levels. Not
yes,
only do you feel lighter physically, but emotionally, there's a lift
yes.
there. Yeah,
And I
yeah.
have more people staring at me, so I'm like, why are you looking at me? You know, so I'm like, oh, I'm sexy, huh?
Right,
Let's
right,
go.
right. so,
Oh man.
so speaking of sexy, you have an ebook about your what was the name of your ebook about the
Oh, melanated with
waistline?
plants. Yeah, and
And there's
yes,
another one.
yes,
And there's another one too about your waistline. What it was called?
yeah. Drop your waistline.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
drop your waistline.
Where can people find your ebooks and they can find you on social media? Because man, when I tell you your recipes are next level, like I said at the top of the show, you got vegan recipes where you making oxtails, ribs,
Yes,
all these things, and I'm like,
yes.
where can people find your recipes and find your social media stuff?
Well, you could go on my Instagram, on my YouTube. It's in the link in the bio, and you'll find everything there. I actually have a book coming out with every single thing that I took, the supplements that I took to lose the weight, because a lot of people thought that I had surgery, and I'm like, I didn't have any surgery. I don't
You
have
want
money
to
to have
Ozempic?
surgery.
You want
No, no
to
Ozempic. No, hells no. That's a very dangerous drug
Mm,
that people are actually on, and it's unfortunate. No, I'm not on no Ozempic. I just did everything natural, holistic, and like I said, just it happened, and I didn't even realize it. I wasn't trying. I always wanted to lose the weight, but at one point of my life, I probably just gave up, and I guess that's when I just gave up, and it happened.
wow.
Hmm. I
Wow.
wasn't thinking about it because you know if you're thinking about it, like I'm going to the gym, I'm gonna lose this weight. You have to actually just do it and just let God do what He needs to
Surrender.
do. And crazy thing, I don't know if it's true, but I never used to hear my heartbeat, right?
Mm,
And now when I go to, you know, when I lay in the bed, I can hear my heartbeat. And I'm like, so
wow.
my wife was like, yeah, this is what happens when you lose weight. And I'm like, so there was fat
Wow.
around my heart? Like,
Right, right. It was
yeah, I
muscle.
couldn't, yeah, I couldn't hear my heartbeat, man. Yeah, that's
Man,
bad.
that's deep on so many levels. I couldn't hear my heart.
Yeah, I
That's
couldn't hear
deep.
my heartbeat. Now that I hear it, it's a kind of, you know, I don't want to say it because then my heart will be like, hey, you know, sometimes I hear it so much that it's hard to sleep because I hear it.
Mm,
You know, it's like
mm,
before I used to just go to sleep, but now I actually hear my heartbeat. You know, it's
wow.
weird to me. And I was like, wow, so this is what it feels like to be a smaller person. You know, so right
Mm,
now my goal is to, you know, I'm in the gym all the time. I'm working. I haven't worked out for the past few days because I have things that I'm doing with this favorite chef. I was picked for the favorite
Oh,
chef
okay. Tell
competition.
about this. Yeah, tell about the favorite chef.
Right. So, guys, I was picked for the favorite chef competition. It's not a vegan type of competition. It's, I guess it's everybody. But the reason I chose to do it is because they asked, "Do you love to cook?" And I love to cook. I love to create recipes for the world. I want to show people that we can eat these things that you see, but we could eat it in a different way. And I just want to
Mm,
change the world. And you guys are the ones that's going to help me do this. Please go follow my account, download my ebook. My ebook is actually free. My other ebook is I think $3 or $4. I have another book coming out called um, Diabetes. It's
diabetes. Oh,
Yes, yeah, meaning like diabetes and
and
obesity.
obesity.
So I put it
Mm,
together, and it's gonna be basically telling you all the steps and what I've been through. And that book is
mm,
in the works. That's coming out also, and I can't wait to drop it because, like I said, it's been hard. And I watch. You know what's crazy? Like I watch people that are like obese, and I look at them and I'm saying, "Wow, that was me." I
mm.
know how he feel. I know how she feels, and it's bad. It's horrible because people treat you different. It's like the things that people are doing now, they weren't doing it before. And I was like, wow. So because I was big, this is why people treat me like this. People discriminate because of weight.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's true. That's true.
people will see you, and because when I used to tell people I was vegan, they would look at me like, that's impossible. How are you vegan and you
Mhm.
look that big? And I didn't
Right.
know that I was that big until I watched my videos. I actually
Mm.
went back and watched my videos, and I was like, what the hell were you doing? So the
Right.
best advice I would tell for somebody is just keep looking. It's gonna happen. If you're on the journey, it's gonna happen. Just make sure you take your D3, make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're breathing, make sure
Mhm.
you're forgiving people.
Mhm.
Forgiveness goes a long way. If you have an ex that you're not forgiving, your mom and your dad or anything in your life is not going right. Work, especially work nowadays with the inflation. The world is a hard place. So just
Mhm.
forgive and just let it be and let God do what he needs to do with you. Because let me tell you something, and I know this for a fact. God do not give you what he knows you can't handle. He gave
Mm.
me the suit. He gave me the suit, this suit of obesity and stuff like that. And and it took me years to establish um, the correct education on how to lose the weight. And I did it. And
Mm.
I tell people all the time, you can do it. I am an example of it. I'm a size 34. I can't believe it. I wear medium now in sweats. It's
Mm.
crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's scary because I couldn't believe it happened.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, man, you are a perfect example that change is possible and
hmm
that healing is possible. And
And
so
I'm
when
not gonna lie, you're part of this also, man. Like I watch you, I watch your videos, what you went through with the cancer and stuff like that. So you were part of it. And I buy your supplements that you had and stuff.
Mhm.
So you were a part of all of this. Even the
Wow.
whole 4 or 5 years that I was online, using this to teach people, you were a part of it as well. And I just want to
Wow.
say thank you. Yes.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Well, man, thank you so much for sharing your story. You are going to inspire and encourage so many
Thank you.
people who right now are struggling. So thank you for sharing your story. And y'all go out and vote for, what is it? The what is it called? The
Yeah, it's
chef.
called The Favorite Chef. They could start voting May 20th. And it's with
Okay.
Carla. I think you saw her on she was on Channel 7. She's a very
Mm.
big person. So it's incredible. So basically if I win the competition, I get $25,000 and I actually get to cook with her. So that would be like an incredible thing.
Awesome. All right, Abdul, we're gonna be waiting, looking at you when you get that big prize and win that $25,000.
Yes, yes, yes.